Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Candidly with Coffee.
Just like that, we're already back.
I know. I love it, too, because it's almost Christmas.
That's true. It's almost Christmas.
Yay.
About that time.
Yes, it is almost Christmas. So for everybody listening to this, it's probably their last day of work before having a few days off.
Mm-hmm.
Some people might even be off today, finishing up their Christmas presents and watching us on YouTube or...
That's cool.
You know, listening to the podcast.
Well, if you guys are home, hopefully you're having a cup of coffee while you're listening to this.
Yes, grab a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
Cheers.
We're spilling the coffee.
Oh, look at, you made us coffee in Christmas mugs. We are in the spirit. Mine says 'tis the season.
I'm trying to be in the spirit, for sure. You know?
I think being with me and being part of my family your Christmas spirit has grown over the years.
Yeah, I could say that, for sure.
I was actually thinking about our very first Christmas together, and we weren't even together, I should say. We had just like dated once or twice. We maybe had one date before Christmas, but you were my personal trainer at the time.
Yes, I was.
And you asked me, it was on Christmas Eve, and you asked me if I could help you with your Christmas shopping. I was like, huh? It's Christmas Eve. Like, are you kidding? And
Super last minute.
And we went to Oak Ridge, and we went to Hallmark.
We did.
Remember? And we just picked out Christmas cards, and you did gift cards.
Because you're like a pro at Christmas. You're like, this is your field of expertise. Like, you just know. It was good to get your
I can be
help
honest,
on it.
I was shocked. I just didn't understand. I thought all families were like my family, I guess. It was kind of like shocking to me. I'm like, this guy is doing his Christmas shopping on Christmas Eve? Yeah. And then, like, I just didn't understand, you guys didn't have, like, Christmas traditions.
Not too much. No, not at all.
Not at all. Like, you did a little something different every year. There wasn't someone's house you always went to.
No.
I
usually go visit my father, my sister in San Francisco. I always make it a point, you know.
Yeah.
And of course, when my mother was still here, I always made it a point to spend time with her as well.
Yeah, just not...
But not like how you guys do it. You guys get all your family together. You do this... What is it called? Kris Kringle?
We do a Kris Kringle. We are not doing it this year for the first time in maybe almost...
I never heard of that.
15 years.
I never heard of that. I was like, what the hell is this Kris Kringle? Remember, I was like, what is this?
You said, who the hell is Kris Kringle?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know. That was like...
Didn't know.
That was different for me, to be honest, because, like, Christmas was always very special for me.
Yeah, you love it a lot.
And in reminiscing with stories from my childhood, I realized it was my parents that made that Christmas magic. They did. Christmas was magical, and they made it that way. I think we forget that the magic of Christmas is really wrapped up in the traditions and the things that your parents do.
Yes. Facts.
You know, and like, you know, my dad, you know, played Santa, and it was really important to him to, like, have all the toys together, and you know, and then I did it for, like, I remember my niece, you know, my parents adopted her, I was a teenager, and they were kind of getting, you know, they're older parents, they were being parents again, but kind of older, so I kind of did I got into doing Santa Claus for her. And I have to ask her to be sure, but I believe that I had her believing in Santa till she was like 12.
Man, you had her duped for a long time.
I kid you not, but I did big things. Like, I did a lot of things. I remember making noise on the roof and tapping on the window and doing all kinds of things.
Oh, wow.
So hopefully I helped make Christmas magical for her.
Yeah, that's cool.
You know, but Christmas traditions is that your parents do, and then I did them, you know, for my kids. Hopefully,
yes.
I hope that I did. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes as I start to get older, I start to second guess myself, and I think, like, of how magical things were for me growing up, and then even as I got older, like my parents, the traditions, and I'm like, am I making enough traditions to make good memories for my kids and my family?
I believe so.
You think so?
Oh, yeah. They get into it to your kids.
Yeah, they get into it.
To the spirit, family, you know. You've taught them well. They're really into their family. That's important. Because a lot of kids these days are just about me, and that's it. I. And I don't feel that way about your kids.
I think that my family right now, it's a really tough, like, transitional time.
Yes.
Very, very difficult. It's been coming for a while, but obviously, with my mom passing away, especially around Christmas, it really puts us in limbo. And then with my dad being ill, but we've always had all of the holidays have always been very strongly rooted in my parents. Like, we all
Yes.
go to my parents' house.
And like the foundation of the holidays.
Right. So we're in a transitional time. I would say the transition, though, started back in 2020 because of the pandemic.
Yeah.
So the 2020 was weird. We didn't really have
Nope.
a Christmas in 2020. And then 2021, my mom was, in hospice.
Yes.
And
Yep.
then this year is the first year without my mom.
Mm-hmm.
And my dad is ill.
Yep.
So it's so transitional. I think that it's going to take a while before we settle into the new normal.
Yeah, of course.
I was just talking about that with my brother, and I think he's worried about it. He's been worried about it for a while, and I think for him, he's sad because he had his kids later in life.
Yeah.
And because of that, his kids aren't going to have the same family memories of Christmas that like my kids have, because my kids' childhood, luckily, they're so fortunate they still had the magical Christmas with my parents.
Yes. Facts.
Mm-hmm. So it's like it's hard. I think he feels a lot of pressure, and I understand that. I have a little less pressure because my kids are not children anymore. So he's literally feels the pressure of all the magic of Christmas is on them.
Yep.
Because my nieces are 5.
It all starts with the parents, Parents make the holidays special.
And
that's where it all starts.
And that's what I remind him, like, you're making it special for them. Even though you don't feel the magic maybe inside anymore, you're making the magic.
Yep.
You're not feeling it as much because we're sad.
Of course.
We're sad.
You guys miss your mother, your father is ill, it's a tough time. And this time of year is a tough time on a lot of people.
I do feel, though, a little surprised that I feel cheer. I feel Christmas cheer.
You do. I see it. You do. You got a good pep in your step, and you've been embracing it. I got to give you that.
Yeah, and I kind of feel like...
Solid.
I don't want to feel... Not that I feel guilty about it, because I can I promise you, I feel both things. I feel sadness and cheer at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
It's proof that you can.
Yeah. Yes, you can.
It's proof that you can. And
but
honestly,
remember, don't feel guilty because your mother wanted you to keep on the tradition.
She did.
Told
Maybe
you.
she's putting this Christmas spirit in me.
Yes.
Because I'm telling you, that was a conversation we had in the hospital, and she said, I don't want to ruin your Christmas spirit. She was so concerned about that. She was so mad. She was like almost stomping her feet mad in the hospital going, I can't believe that I was so sick for so long, and this is when it's going to come to a head, before Christmas. I'm so mad. She was so mad. She wanted it to be after Christmas.
Your poor mother was on her deathbed dying, and she was feeling like some type of way. You know what I'm saying? She wasn't crying about dying. She wasn't crying. She was just more like inconvenient. Feel like she was inconvenienced you guys.
Yeah, she just felt like
mom's a special,
what are the chances?
I know that it falls on this, right?
Yeah, and
but you can't pick. You can't pick when it's your time to go. You know what I'm saying? You just can't. Unfortunately, we can't.
I know. She tried, and she did as much as she could, because she did make sure she didn't die on Christmas, even though they told her that she probably would pass sooner.
Yeah.
But she was like, not until after Christmas.
Right. That's
12:01.
That's pretty insane that she held on that long.
It's insane. But yeah,
cheers.
Cheers again.
Again. Okay. I love my coffee.
Ho over there.
So
yeah, so anyways, I don't know. I feel like as down as I could be. Mm-hmm. I'm grateful because it's right now is not as bad as last year.
No. Not even. Just look into the sky. We have sunshine. It's cold, but we have blue skies. Last year, doom and gloom.
Yeah,
it was perfect for the mood.
We were in the throes of hospice with her and everything, and I feel like even though, hey, by all means, things are not fantastic. I mean, my dad is terminally ill.
Yes, he is.
But he's alive right now.
Yes, he is.
And he's okay right now.
Yes.
And I'm grateful for that. And sometimes, I'll be honest,
and we have to make this
I love my dad,
Christmas as special as we
but
can for
he
him.
almost gets annoyed with me that I can have a positive outlook right now. You know what I mean?
Because he's in a negative state of mind and he wants you to be there with him and you're trying to show him the positive.
Yeah, and I always go back to, but Dad, today you're here. Today your pain is controlled. Today you can walk around, you have your dog.
You can eat
we're
food.
We're gonna get together with family for Christmas. Like, I'm looking at the bright side. It doesn't mean that I'm not aware that there is a lot to come.
Yes.
That's very heavy.
Yes. Facts.
But I am not going to go there before I have to go there.
You said it best. Because why not celebrate, but why even pretend he's dead right now when he hasn't happened?
Right.
Don't
I don't want to be in that space yet. It's not denial. I'm not in denial. You can
No, you're not in
verify
denial.
that.
You know.
I am not in denial. I know that there's a lot to come, but there was a time in this journey within a couple of months ago that I thought we would be with my dad right now where we were with my mom last year.
It was close.
So I'm grateful that he is, he's good right now for the holidays. He's going to make it through the holidays.
Yes,
and there was that we didn't know at some point. So, sue me for trying to find the silver lining on the darkest day.
You have to, though. You got to give him some kind of hope why he's here.
I mean, but
every day,
in general,
every day's
not
a
even
win.
him. I can't control what his.
I know.
Feeling, but I'm saying for myself.
Yeah. But what you're teaching him is every day, when he feels good, is a win. You're awake, you're breathing, is a win. I know it's hard for him to find any motivation, nothing to look forward to because he's terminally ill.
Yeah.
But while you're here, enjoy the food, enjoy your dog.
And a lot of times when I tell him that, Dad, one day at a time, he kind of goes, okay, like, yeah, you're right, one day at a time. But
he wants to fight you, but you
But a
you bring
couple
him
of days
reason.
ago, he got annoyed. He was in a bad mood. And I said, Dad, one day at a time. He goes, no, but you have to plan. We have to plan for what's to come. And I was like, oh my gosh, Dad, you don't think me, the planner, your daughter, the planner, has a plan? It doesn't mean I have to swim in the pool of misery.
Yeah.
I have a plan. I have things in place. I know how I'm going to handle it. But, it doesn't mean I need to be there emotionally yet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I think sometimes he even gets annoyed when I laugh or something. He'll be like,
it's crazy how
there's nothing to laugh about.
It's crazy about that statement. Misery loves company.
Yeah. For sure.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. So anyways, I do have some Christmas spirit. I actually even would like to one time before Christmas, hopefully. I was even thinking maybe tonight, take a drive to see the Christmas lights. Because everyone will have the Christmas lights on already.
Oh, yeah.
Take a little drive and see the lights. Maybe put the dogs in the car and drive around if we have time. I have to tell you guys, time blocking has been my life savior lately. Time block. That is how the best way for time management is time blocking. Really look into it. If you struggle with time management, or if you find yourself saying, I don't have time all the time, or if you find yourself overcommitting, and then your things that things that you've promised to yourself fall short, highly recommend time blocking. It works really, really well.
You're good at that.
Yeah. It really works. All right, so hot coffee topic. Now we can cheers.
Oh, okay.
Because we're going to do a hot coffee topic. My coffee is still hot.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about Britney Spears.
Oh, what's going on with her? I saw something a little bit on TMZ.
What is going on with her?
Is she posting nude photos on Instagram?
Well, no. She's been doing that for a long time.
Yeah.
Post weird pictures.
Not completely nude, but
That's not what I'm talking about.
What
I'm talking about is just her. She hasn't been seen in public in a really long time. Mm-hmm. Like, her conservatorship is over. She's free. She can drive. She can do all kinds of things. And yet, she's nowhere to be found. Nobody has seen her. Paparazzi hasn't seen her. She's been posting old pictures on Instagram. It doesn't even feel like it's her posting on Instagram. She posts like old pictures and weird even more weird than normal.
Wow.
And nothing is adding up.
You think she's losing it?
Well, here's the thing. Can I give you my unpopular opinion on
Go
Britney
for it.
Spears? Even before the whole conservatorship, when everyone was like, free Britney. I wasn't really for the free Britney. I really felt like there is significant reasons why she was under the conservatorship. And I'm not saying that they didn't do anything wrong. I don't know. I haven't, I'm not the jury. I haven't listened to the case. I don't know a lot of the details. I'm not saying that they didn't get kind of power hungry and kind of enjoyed having control of her money. But I'm just saying I don't necessarily think that conservatorship was for nothing. I feel like she has severe mental illness.
I mean, yeah, she walked in at what? I don't know how many years ago. She walked in a hair salon and shaved all her hair off.
Yeah, that was when she had her mental break. But she's had she struggles with severe mental illness, and I think everyone just got kind of like, oh, free Britney, and just...
I want to stop you right there. I hate when people do it. They're like bandwagoners. They all come together, free Britney, free this. Or like, I don't want to blast nobody, but like, let's just say a rapper or somebody gets caught for a serious crime like murder or something. Free him. Why? What do you mean free him? No, it doesn't work. The law don't work that way. You don't just get a free pass.
It's like mob mentality.
It is. I hate mob mentality. Yeah. I like it.
And with that movement, I was never on board with it. I was actually worried for her when she was off the conservatorship. I was actually worried because I thought, uh-oh, what's going to happen with her? Well, what is going to happen? What is happening with her? I don't know. Yeah. Why is it that all of a sudden she's nowhere to be found?
Where's her hubby at?
Yeah, like it's weird. They're posting weird videos and I don't know. Something is going on. I don't think and the conspiracy theories are just ridiculous.
Oh, I can only imagine what's being said out there.
They think she's not alive. Or that she's like CGI and she passed away years ago and crazy things, man.
Now, if there's any inkling of that, don't you think the police might show up to do a welfare check if they think she's not alive? Or her family or somebody would call?
Sure. I don't know. But then, there's just been a lot of speculation. And I'm just saying, I don't think she's well mentally. I think there was reasons why she was, originally put under conservatorship. And those didn't just go away.
Yeah.
But I was never, I was never part of that Free Britney movement. And I was worried for her when... it was over.
Yeah.
Not to say that the people that were overseeing it didn't do things wrong or whatever, because I'm sure that's...
Steal from her?
Yeah.
Steal some money from her?
That's probably partly true as well. But I just always think to myself, there's always two sides to the story.
Always. It's never one-sided.
So, I don't know. That's what I have to say. So, that's my opinion on Britney Spears. I don't know. I was never for the Free Britney movement. I think that there's something going on mentally behind the scenes, and will we ever find out? I don't know. All right, so now, since we are coming to the end of the year, and this is, what is this the time that normally people do? What's the generic term that people do January 1st?
Oh my goodness.
What is it?
Their New Year's resolution, I'm going to lose weight.
Resolutions. New Year's resolutions.
God, I've heard that over and over.
Well, because New Year's resolutions... they just don't work because they're not, it's just, I don't know, they're just like thoughts.
That's it. If you don't put your thoughts into action, then they're no good.
Yeah, and they're too general. You know what I mean? Like, I just feel like they're general. New Year's resolutions.
Yeah.
It should definitely not be only once a year that you check in on your goals, that's for sure.
Nope.
And years ago, I started implementing a different goal strategy. And when I did that, it definitely changed. Like, I feel like I started achieving more goals when I started to be more strategic with my goals.
Yes.
Now, I have to say, although I did do it on a smaller scale this year, I didn't do it what I normally do, which is like the big goals, which are the visions, which I'll go over. Mm-hmm. We're going to talk about it. But because it was like last year, I was just trying to survive.
Yes.
So all of that fell by the wayside. And it wasn't my goals that kind of like kept me from falling off, but it was my habits that kept me going.
True.
because I had really strong routines and habits, the autopilot kicked in and I stayed on course, at least, on a good trajectory and not falling back and falling off.
Yeah, and you kept your discipline up real good going through all that last year. That's pretty impressive.
Because it's autopilot. When you really dedicate yourself to a healthy lifestyle and you create like really good, strong habits and routines, it just becomes autopilot.
Yes, facts.
So that, the habits and routines is what is going to get you to the goals.
Yep.
So it's kind of like we're talking about it backwards here, but the very first thing you need to do, and I just talked about this with my clients actually in Coaches Chat, because I'm going to really lean heavily into goals this year with them. Yeah. Because there's certain things that make goals more achievable. Mm-hmm. Certain strategic things that you can do with goals to make you actually reach the goals. Because I feel like people are so flippant with their goals and they just kind of throw them out there and they kind of assume they're never going to, they're just dreams.
You got it. Yeah. You can't just say it and expect things to happen. Mm-hmm. You got to make it happen.
Yeah. Goals.
Like again, I want to lose weight for the new year. I want to get healthy. Okay, so what's your plan of action after that? What are you going to implement? What's your implement intentions? What are you going to do to get you there? You're just throwing that out there, saying it to the universe and hoping, bing, you're going to wake up one day and be super motivated, energized? No.
Yeah, no. It doesn't work that way. You have to be strategic. It's kind of like if if you want to go somewhere, you want to get somewhere.
Yep.
If you don't have a plan on how you're going to get there, what are the chances that you're actually going to get there? So even think about it in everyday life. If I want to go to Hawaii, and I just say I want to go to Hawaii. Well, okay.
Yeah.
What does that mean? Okay. Book it.
Exactly. Book it.
Let's figure out what dates we want to go. Mm-hmm. How are we going to get there? Okay, we're going to fly. Got to book the airfare. Where are we going to stay? Where are we going to eat when we get there? It's a lot of planning.
It is.
It's involved.
What are you going to pack? What are you going to pack? What's the weather like?
If I simply just say, I want to go to Hawaii, it ain't going to happen. Mm-mm. And I feel like this is a very common thing. If identify it in yourself, listen to yourself, catch yourself doing that, and slap yourself a little bit. Like, well,
yes,
that's not enough.
Hold yourself accountable.
I want to do that. I want to do this. I want to be healthy. I want to live a healthy lifestyle. I want to, too general.
I. Want. Okay.
I'm guilty. I'm not coming at you guys from a place of I do this perfectly all the time, because it takes time. You have to sit down and go, okay, I gotta sit down, I gotta plan this out.
Yes.
I'll give you guys an example, because I'm gonna do it. This year I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go back to what I normally do, because I skipped kind of last year. Didn't mean I didn't set any goals throughout the year. I did. But I'm going to go back to the way I normally do things. And I'll give you guys an example. So I've been being that person for a while. I want to average 10,000 steps a day. That's a decent goal because it's specific and measurable.
Yep.
So it is that is a good goal to have, but okay. It means nothing if I keep saying I want to average 10,000. Okay, well, you got to break that down into actionable mini goals that are going to get you to that goal. How am I going to average 10,000 steps a day? Okay, what do I currently average? About 7,500. What am I going to do every single day that is going to give me an additional 2,500 steps? Take it even further. What routine do I need to implement to get the 2,500 additional steps? What habit and routines do I already have that are really solid that I can just layer onto that 2,500 steps?
Yeah.
And that's what I need to do. That's a goal. That's a big goal, a bigger goal. It's going to take me a while to average 10,000 steps. And then I break it down into what does that mean, right? What do I need to do in order to achieve that? Yes. And then how do I put that into action in my life in order to actually make it happen?
Yep. You
have to do that for every single goal. So a SMART goal. That's what I want to talk about.
I think this is where people struggle. They need to learn They need to figure out how to work the system. It's just a simple formula. And once you learn it, I'm telling you, it does work. Because I'm going to do that too this year. I'm going to get better about writing down goals, what I want. Nothing to do with fitness. I'm already ahead of that. I'm saying like just in life, where I want to be in life.
Everything.
I need to do better.
All aspects of your life, it works in all aspects.
I know it does.
So what's a SMART goal? S stands for specific. A lot of people fall short here. I even gave my clients homework in coaches chat ahead of time, and they still came to the chat with general goals. They were not specific.
General.
I would say that's the most common thing people do, is they just make their goals too general. So number one of a SMART goal is got to be specific. The M in SMART stands for measurable. This is very important. It has to be measurable. You need to be able to track the progress on reaching that goal. Yes. Again, this is why it cannot be general. It has to be specific. You can start with a general idea and then ask yourself, how can I make this general idea into something specific and measurable?
Yep.
Okay? Then it has to be attainable with it can't be something like
unrealistic.
I want to make my brown eyes blue. Okay? It has to be attainable. But it can be aggressive, though. Don't sell yourself short, because you can adjust goals.
Yes.
If you see that this is a little too aggressive. So I don't want people to sell themselves short with the attainable part of the A in SMART, but don't completely shoot for the stars.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay?
Some people are unrealistic.
Because remember, part of after you set the SMART goal is you're going to have to come up with an action plan to get there. And so if you've set your SMART goal into something that's not attainable, action plan is going to be impossible.
Yes.
Okay? Then the R stands for relevant. It has to be relevant. Okay? It has to make sense in your life. You know? If you are, you have 3 small kids, you're married, you're your school teacher, whatever, your goal can't be, by the end of the year, I want to retire and move to Fiji. Okay? It's not feasible. You got a family to raise,
yes.
You got a job, you got a life. It's not an attainable, relevant goal. That's not relevant to your life right now. It's not attainable within the year. And that's what I want you to think about, because we're setting these goals for the year. So when you ask yourself if it's attainable, if it's relevant to the year. So take a look at your year. Be realistic. And then the T stands for time sensitive. Again, that boils down to take a look at, can I achieve this within a year? But it has to have a time on it.
Yep,
it does. You have to have a time. So you can start by setting goals that are general, or think about creating a vision board and making it general things that you want to achieve, but then you want to ask yourself the SMART questions. Is it specific? Is it measurable? Is it attainable? Is it relevant? And do I have a time limit on it? Once you have the goals, and you could create different ones for different things in your life, your healthy lifestyle, your personal goals, business goals, all the different things. Once you have that, then you have to break it down. You're going to break it all the way down into how you can start working towards that goal right now. What are the things that you need to happen in order to make that goal attainable?
True. And you know what's good about this thing, the SMART goals? It just doesn't apply to fitness. This can help you in everyday life.
Everything.
Everything. In business, your career. Because listen, the more driven you are in fitness, and the more you achieve your goals in that, it'll elevate you in your personal life. You'll feel better. Maybe a relationship with your spouse, your boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife will be better relationship with your kids. You'll feel better internally. And that'll push you even to go further up the ladder, maybe if you're corporate or if you're an entrepreneur, whatever the case may be. This thing works for life.
It does.
It's not just for fitness, but for life.
No, for everything. And it trickles.
I like it.
And the way you feel when you start achieving the little goals, when you create the plan,
the little wins,
when you start to achieve little wins along the way, guess what happens? Your motivation goes up.
Yes, it does.
You get more motivated.
Yep.
And, motivation makes it a lot easier to work towards these goals. So while we don't always have motivation, it helps when you have goals. So, for example, if somebody just says, I want to be more fit as their goal. That's what people will say. That's a common goal. I want to lose weight and I want to be fit.
Yep.
Those are two different general goals. So they don't qualify as a SMART goal. So I want to lose weight. Let's make it a SMART goal. I want to fit into my high school jeans by the end of the year. I want them to fit and I want them to fit good. The general goal is weight loss. You got to lose weight in order to get into the jeans.
Yes.
But it's a specific goal.
That's a specific goal.
It is specific. It is measurable. It's attainable. It's relevant.
Yes.
And it's time sensitive. All those things. So, okay, good. Now I've got a SMART goal. Now what do? Okay, in order to reach the SMART goal, I've got to lose body fat. I've got to maybe put on some muscle. So what am I going to do in order to achieve that? How am I going to lose body fat? Okay, I'm going to start tracking macros.
Step 1.
I'm going to start implementing more activity in my life. You can set a step goal.
Step goal.
I want to, lose 2 pounds a month. Very specific goals that are all going to get you, specific small plan of action that are going to get you to the ultimate goal of fitting in that pair of high school jeans.
Yep. True.
And then you can measure it. You can, every once a month, try on the jeans. Take a picture of how they're looking. Are they starting to look better? Maybe you can pull them up past your thighs now. Then at some point you can button them. Then you can zip them. Then you can put them on and, you have a little spillage. Then you have them on, you don't have spillage. And over time,
yes,
you'll be able to see it. And you'll get every time it's a little bit better, fits a little bit better, you're going to get more motivated.
It reminds me of the time that I was on keto. You were doing it too. And then every week you were taking progress pics. And you could see it. You can't see it with the naked eye, but you could see it. And you were pointing it out to me.
Exactly.
It kept motivating me to push harder and harder and further and further. Till I got to my end goal, and man, I fit in jeans that I never thought I'd be able to fit in.
It's
I
perfect
was at a high school.
example.
I was probably damn near my high school weight. People say that like, "Oh, I'd love to be in my high school weight." You could do it. It's just all up here. Sorry about that. It's all up here. It's all in the head, you guys. I swear you can achieve it. People think, no, I can't. Yes, you can. It's a different era. We have so much information.
It's never too late. You absolutely can.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that's a perfect example. So the other thing that makes goals more achievable statistically, this is very important, is if you write it down. You have to write it down. It can't just be in your head. You have to write it down, and you have to put it in a place that you can remind yourself that you have set these goals. Something that you look at, something that you'll look at in your planner, on your phone. Every once in a while, when you kind of lose direction or whatever, you need to look back at your goals and go, oh my gosh, yes, I set these goals. Like, you have to write it down. That's step 1.
Yeah.
Number 2, you have to share it with somebody. This is going to help hold you accountable.
Yep. Accountability.
Do not try to have secret goals. You know why you have secret goals? Why do you think that people have secret goals?
Because they don't want to be called out or held accountable if they fail at what they're doing.
Because they want to be able to abort mission if things get too hard, and they don't want to have to answer for it.
Exactly.
You're giving yourself an out. Guess what? You are already failing if this is why you're not sharing your goals.
Yep. Already. That's a bad way to start that out. No bueno.
No. And statistically, it increases the odds of you achieving your goal if you share it. Not only if you share it, but if you share it continuously. If you share your progress along the way.
Yep. True.
So this is why groups like I have, like my body boot camp, this is why things like being part of this is helpful. Because embedded in a group like this is accountability.
Yes.
Is check-ins.
Yes.
Is sharing goals and participating in the coaches chat and sharing information and how are you doing and being vulnerable. It's part of it, and that's why programs like that are helpful rather than just being on an island by yourself trying to reach a weight loss or a fitness goal.
Now, this group you have, do they interact with each other? Or
they do.
So it's camaraderie.
Camaraderie.
Camaraderie. I said that wrong. Camaraderie is good too.
And they feel like they're part of a group.
Yes.
That's part of, you just
motivation,
feel.
Yes.
Yeah, you get motivation from that. You feel distinct. You feel like everyone's in this together.
Yes.
You have this common goal.
We're all fighting this battle together, losing weight or getting fit or whatever the case may be. Everybody has different goals, but yes.
Yeah, and they get motivated from each other, and
it's true.
It's helpful. So you need to have that. That's important. So many times I've had people come to me saying like, oh, they join and like, oh, this is like, you don't share that I'm part of this group, right? Because I don't want anybody to know until I reach my goal weight, which is fine. That's fine. And I don't share it outside. I don't ever share anything of who's a part of my group unless they want me to share it. But when I hear that deep down, I go, oh, that's, something we probably got to work on, because that's not a good mindset to have.
Yeah.
That you're trying to do it in secret. You need support.
Yes.
You do need support. You need your family to be on board.
Yep.
You need peer support. You need accountability. That's how we're hardwired as humans. We oftentimes, we're not very successful when we just like move in silence.
Yeah. Well, think about this. Not to get too off topic, but what do all teams have in common? A coach. Why? Because they need that coach to lead them. They need to hold accountable. You showing up to practice? Are you doing the drills? What are you keeping yourself healthy? You need that.
An outside perspective too. It's so funny because
you need to be called out.
You say that.
We all need to be called out.
I give a ton of free information on my social media. I don't gatekeep what it takes to lose weight.
Yeah.
But there is no replacement for actually having a coach. Having someone.
No.
And someone posted on a video that I posted on YouTube, actually. It was a YouTube short I posted about calorie deficit and whatever. And then in the end of that video, I just said, if you need help with macros, I am a macro coach. I can help you. Kind of just like threw in that in my video.
Yes.
And someone made a snide comment like, oh, let me help you out here. All you need is a calorie deficit. You don't need a quote unquote coach or whatever. Like, I'm like, whatever, dude. Get out of here.
You know what, dude? If that was the case, then everybody would be successful losing weight.
Right.
So shut that up, man.
Right. Or just in general, like you said, right? A professional athlete, they know how to... A quarterback knows on the NFL level how to play football.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes. Knows how to throw the ball. Been doing this since a kid.
Does the quarterback need a coach if he already knows how to play football? Why does the team need a coach? They need to be held accountable. They need outside perspective. They need to, learn new things.
Yes.
They need to troubleshoot if something is not working.
Always adapting.
Yes. And if anyone ever thinks that they know enough, like I know enough, that's so arrogant, and you don't.
Yeah. I
don't know enough. I'm always learning, adapting.
Yes. That part. Don't ever want to be closed-minded and say, I know it all. I'm almost 50. No, we're always learning and evolving. That's the beauty. We're always, new information is always coming out.
Can you imagine if as long as I've been doing this now, I've been doing this going on 6 years, coaching. If I had that attitude like 6 years ago, what I believe 6 years ago, I am not changing anything, and I'm just going to coach exactly the same, and that's where I'd be now 6 years later, and that'd be a failure.
Yes. Because you've evolved. Failing. You've evolved and learned over the years.
You have to evolve as you get new science, new data, new studies, new information. For me, it's been a lot more on the learning how to coach the emotional side, the behaviors.
It's all here.
The behaviors.
That's where it
because
starts.
It sounds easy, like the guy who posted on my video. Oh, it's just calorie deficit. Anyone can do it on their own, blah, blah,
Anyone
blah.
can do it. Gotta love that generic statement. But they don't. Why don't they do it?
Because they encounter barriers, and they encounter social, barriers. And
mind block.
Yeah, lots
social,
of different
physique,
things.
anxiety. They feel intimidated to be in the gym setting. Like, I feel like everybody's staring at me. That's furthest from the truth. I was a trainer for 5 plus years. No one is sitting there. The whole gym's not stopping and staring at you. Unless you look like you're doing something foolish or stupid, like you want attention, then maybe. Other than that, no. People are doing their thing. People, for the most part, minding their business, working out.
And let me tell you another thing regarding goals. Back on the goals situation. A common goal is I want to be more fit.
Yes.
Too general. That is way too general. I want to up my game in the gym. What does that mean exactly?
Funny that I said that recently to myself internally.
It's too general.
It is.
You got to be specific.
But I know what I need to target and what I need to attack to achieve that goal.
So what is your specific goal then, instead of I just want to up my game in the gym? Specifically, what do you mean?
Specifically, is I want to be in tip-top shape, meaning I can get out and run 5 miles. I can hit the bags for an hour or two.
Okay, those are individual goals. See? So tip-top shape, too general. Now, drill down a little further. You want to what? I want to run 5 miles in how many minutes? I want to do pull-ups, sideways pull-ups. Like you showed me.
Yeah. Yes.
You see? You see that even you, as we're sitting here talking about this, and you're still spitting off general goals. This is why we need to talk about it. Because this is where people are messing up.
Yes. And it's you as a macro coach, fitness motivator, whatever your title is. You're like a life coach.
Yeah.
So.
Sorry.
You need to educate people. Yes, you're right. Look, you just showed me a little thing. Like, okay, I see what you're saying. Because you're right. I have made small little goals, broke it down. I want to do more pull-ups. I want to get to be able to do 100 burpees in a day. Little things like that.
Exactly. Perfect. See, those are great. You got to write. Then, what do you got to do then?
Write it down.
You can't just spout off all those goals.
Yes.
You got to write them down.
Write them down.
You got to write them down so that you remember, and then you got to think, and then you got to look at it. Look at all your goals after you have them all written down, and decide which ones you're gonna tackle right now.
Yes.
Which ones am I gonna tackle right now, and what do I need to do? What behaviors do I need to implement to get closer to this goal every day?
Facts.
And be specific.
Yep.
Even with my clients, I told them if you're stuck on the general, send me an email. Let me know what are your general goals, and I'll help you break it down, because you need to be specific. This is where everybody struggles. It sounds easier than it is.
Yes.
But then it's not that easy when you start to think about it. Shoot, what does this mean?
People don't have the knowledge or the education. They don't know where to start. They're lost. And that's why they need people like yourself, other coaches, to guide them. I've had a coach, you know what I'm saying? All my whole life.
Like a common one. I want to get in better shape. No, that's not going to work. For me personally, okay, if that's my general idea, yes, I want to be in better shape. For me, I want to be leaner. Still too general. I want to be leaner. That's not a smart goal. So, I will say I want to be, by the end of the year, 18% body fat. Specific goal.
Specific.
Number 1. Specific goal number 2. I want my arms to look defined without flexing. Specific goal. Measurable. Specific.
Yes.
Attainable.
Relevant.
Right? I'm a fitness person. I'm a fitness coach. It's relevant to my life.
Yes.
Time sensitive. I want to do it by the end of the year. I want to come in next year more lean, more fit, more like walking down the street, that girl lifts weights.
Yes. I know what you mean.
Okay? Those are all specific. So then how do I break that down? Okay, how do I reduce my body fat percentage? Okay, well, I want to preserve muscle and reduce body fat. So what does that mean? I got to go into some cuts this year. Not going to go into a straight cut for an entire year. I need to bake in probably 3 periods of cutting throughout the year to achieve an 18% body fat. In between those cuts, I have to have structured maintenance, so not all over the place.
Yes.
I have to bump up my protein because I want to preserve my muscle during the cut. And I have to go into a calorie deficit. So my cut, I got to go in one that I'm starting in January. I've actually already kind of started to pull back a little bit, but officially starting my cut in January, probably about 6 weeks. It's all measurable, specific. What does that mean, starting a cut? How specific is it? Well, it means my macros are changing. My protein's going to get higher. My calories are going to drop. My cheat days are going to be a little more structured. That's what that means. Very specific.
Yes. Get more steps in.
Yes. So then those are other goals that are going to help me with those goals. But that's what I mean. I want to up my game. I want to be more fit. Not enough. What does that mean specifically for me? It means lower body fat.
Yes.
More muscle. How do I do that? by incorporating cuts. I didn't cut this year at all, this last year. Happy with the fact that I pretty much maintained the entire year, but now my goals changed.
Yes.
You know, status quo was my goal, to make it through this year.
Yep.
You know, I mean, survive mentally.
You've had a lot of obstacles.
Yeah,
and you
a lot.
And listen, I know people are baked in with excuses already. They quit before they even start because they have an out. You have several outs to say, you know what? F this. I'm done. Lost your mother. Your father's ill. We almost lost him. Thankfully, you were able to save him, keep him around for a little while longer. There's been a lot of hurdles. You know, we lost 2 dogs. Mine, yours. There's been a lot of stuff we could have been like, we're done. F this life. Quit. Nope. Like you said, you maintained and you stayed where you're at and you're happy doing it.
Yeah.
And now you have new goals.
Yeah.
And that's okay to always switch your goals. You don't always have to stay the same, stagnant. Because what happens is you get in a rut and it's hard to get out of that rut.
And here's the other thing. You know how when I talked about the SMART goals, I talk about attainable. If you get to a point when you're working towards the goal, you realize it is not attainable within this time period, adjust the goal. It is okay to adjust the goal.
Yes.
Because you want to make sure that you put yourself in a position where you are going to feel like you are going to be successful, because the brain likes that. It likes the rewards. It likes hitting the milestones. It's like a reward system. And here's another thing that I want you guys to practice that works like a charm for me, and I love it. Once you settle in on those goals and you're excited, they have to be something that you are excited about. I want you to look at it and go, oh my gosh, I'm going to feel so good when I achieve that. Like almost feel it, like feel giddy.
Yes.
Feel giddy.
Vision it. Vision it and vision it and vision. That's what I did. Imagine what you want your body or how you want to look. Vision it.
Whatever the goal is, like whatever it pertains to. If it's you know, doing a marathon, picture yourself crossing the finish line.
Yes.
Picture sharing it with your family.
Yes.
Getting the medal. Feel it as if it's happening.
Exactly.
Get excited as if it's already happening. That's a really important thing. And if it's a goal that doesn't make you excited, it's the wrong goal. It's the wrong goal. You go back to the drawing board.
Yeah.
You have to look at it and think, oh my gosh, when I reach this, like, oh my gosh, I'm going to be so happy. You have to be like a little kid about it. Like, I'm going to be so excited.
Say it again. I'm joking. I'm going to be so excited. But no, you're right though. You're right. If it doesn't make you excited or challenging enough, you need challenges. We all need to challenge ourselves. Believe me, it's really good to challenge yourself.
Yeah, when you're more strategic, you get a lot farther.
Yes, you do. You're right.
And you get a lot farther than you ever thought possible. Because when you're working towards something constantly, man, even the little progress, over time, it's significant.
I know. It's kind of like that analogy. You always say, like, all of us are ripped or in shape, but we're covered by body fat.
Yeah.
It's like a roll of tissue paper or toilet paper. It's a big roll, but over time the little layers start coming out.
Yeah, and if you take off one piece of perforated toilet paper, the roll looks exactly the same to the naked eye.
Yes.
But it's not the same.
Nope. This
is where people shoot themselves in the foot too. Expectations are not managed properly.
Facts.
They think they are going to see incredible results with their naked eye after a short period of time, because it feels like they're doing a lot of work, but they don't see it yet. It's kind of like you have a little bit of blind faith at first.
Yes, true.
But trust me, that little piece of toilet paper, over time, if you need to take one piece at a time, eventually the roll looks smaller.
Yep.
And eventually it's empty and you have to replace the roll. But it was so small, so minute, that it didn't feel that way for quite a while. And only then, when you can actually see it, do you then start believing it, and it increases your motivation. That's why it's really important for your goals to be measurable.
True. You don't want to go in this blind and not have like a game plan. It's always about a game plan to me, you know?
Well, you have to have a plan.
You do. You can't wing it. Like I said, when I was on keto and we were monitoring my progress, man, I was stuck to the plan, and every week I was seeing a difference.
Yeah, and I would show you. I remember.
You would.
Because it's like little nuances.
Can't
to the naked eye, you don't see it. And I'm like, but wait a minute. You see the distance from your elbow to your waist? See how that gap is bigger now?
Yeah.
And you'd be like, oh my gosh, I do see it. I'm like, your waist is coming in. It's little things that I see because I do this. I look at progress pictures every day of my life, thousands of clients. I look for little things. I look for the distance from the arm to the waistline, and the fat that's accumulating under the bra strap, and different things. You know, the line, like if you have like back fat and you see a line where the back fat is, the line will shrink. Or like the lines under the butt if someone's in a bathing suit.
Yes.
I can see like at first like it's the line goes all the way across, and then as their body fat dwindles and their muscle mass increases, the line gets smaller. It's very measurable to me.
Yes.
But it isn't always to other people, and they look and they go, "Oh, I look exactly the same." But that's where I come in. I'm like, "No, you look good. You're progressing. I see it. I see fat loss."
It's almost like you learned this from your coach. Remember, he same thing. He would look at us visually. Like, damn, what does he see?
Yeah.
But he had that eye. He could notice if you're making progress or not.
Yeah, you know that when I did that was 10 years ago now.
10 years ago already? Mm-hmm. Wow.
It was 10 years ago, and guess what? That was the turning point in my life, and I know I talked about this before. So for those of you who think, oh, I don't need a coach, I had a personal trainer as a husband. I still needed a coach.
Yep.
An outside person.
Yes.
I needed that, and it changed my life.
Because he's going to crack the whip on you. You're going to take him more serious than you would me.
Yeah, and that's what I hope I'm doing for people. I want to be that person to change their life. That's what I want. Mm-hmm. But you know what was interesting about him? Never weighed in. I never weighed myself one time when he was my coach. I weighed myself for me, but he didn't ask for my weights. He just wanted to look at me. He got to see me in person. And he's like, I don't need your weight. I don't care what the scale says. I'm seeing. Got a little fat here. It's still working on here. This looks good. That looks good. It's all he needed.
Dude, it's almost like he's like not even a coach. It's almost like he's a body sculptor. Like he knows how to sculpt you guys. Like he's a maestro. Like, okay, we need to trim off here. We need to do this. Like, that's a skill right there, man. That you can't. It's hard to learn that.
He didn't even care about my weight, and I did the work. So it was like, I when you do the work, you get excited for your check-ins.
Yes.
And I let the check-ins be my motivation to stay on track. So I'm like, ooh, no, but I love check-in day. I love to be able to compare my pictures. I love that because I know I'm going to see progress because I'm not cheating myself. I'm doing the work.
Yeah.
Get to that point. Don't dread when I send you a text message that says it's time to check in. You should be excited to do that because you're doing the work. And if you are not doing the work or you're thinking about not doing the work, ask yourself like, ooh, I'm going to put this down right now because I want to be happy on check-in day. Do the work. Listen, my plans they're flexible. Like, if you guys got to, the things I have my clients doing, I wish when I was back then 10 years ago.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. Okay.
Or when I was a personal trainer, I wish I knew this system.
10 almonds was on my meal plan. Okay. That was the only fun thing I had was 10 freaking almonds. So when I tell you can have a Magnum mini ice cream bar, I think that you should be able to stay on track.
Yeah. That's pretty amazing you could do that. Because, like I said, back in the day, it was almost so generic. Tilapia, steak, avocado, sweet potatoes, the usual,
Yeah, you do not have
broccoli.
to eat like that. You don't. Listen, you're
because
not trying to be...
that's not sustainable, right? That's not realistic.
It's not even sustainable for the people that do it, and they don't do it forever.
No.
That's the other thing. And now, what were we talking about?
It's only for competition
It's a well-known
purposes.
secret in the fitness world that competitors, they will bank tons of content while they are prepping because they're at their leanest and they look their best. They'll do a bunch of photo shoots. They will do lots of content. And then after their show, they just post up that content. So the perception is that, wow, they're lean year round. No. Mm-hmm. They are, I'm not saying everybody, but a good amount of people. And I know of specific people that are known for doing this. I used to get all of the inside scoop from my coach. And I would be like, no way. Like, I had no idea. I'm like, I thought that person was super lean all the time. He goes, oh no, she struggles actually. They go into like, they hibernate, eat till the cows come home, and they do not reemerge until they go back into prep and have leaned out somewhat.
Yes.
And all the time in between that, they're posting content that they banked while they were lean.
Yes.
So the perception to us is, wow, they lived this lifestyle where they're like lean year round, and they're really tricky. They'll post sometimes the yummy food that they're eating. So they'll post the pizza, they'll post the ice cream, but then the photos that they post are old, not the pizza, ice cream eating, Krispy Kreme eating bodies.
Yeah.
It's the, yeah.
Facts.
That's what's happening.
Yep.
That
she gave you guys an inside little tip.
that is what's happening, because that's not sustainable to be that stage level lean all the time, and people are. Anyways, guys, we always have to give you a little bit of behind the scenes juice on
bit of juice
on this podcast. So hopefully you guys took something away from this. I really want you to not make some generic New Year's resolutions this year. Make some SMART goals, and let's actually do some damage to those goals this year.
Let's do it all together. Let's all do it.
Let's kill it. I'm going to do it this year. And listen, I know I have a tough year ahead of me, but I'm not going to let that stop me from making goals and working towards them anyway, because that's life. And if you think you're ever going to have the perfect year with no illness in your family and no problems and no tragedy, and only then and only that time will you make goals and work towards them, you're never going to achieve anything. You have to do it despite that.
Yes, you do.
You have to still do it, because that's life, and that you're always going to have things to deal with.
Yes. And one thing I got to say before we get out of here, I'll tell you this. By me working out hard and pushing myself, one thing that this helps me a lot with is my mental health. That's kind of like what I do, and I train the mind, because I know the body's going to follow. But that's my thing. I used to train for the physical when I was younger. Me
too.
To get girls. I don't know. I was a bouncer, so I wanted big muscles. I like that look. You know what I mean? I wanted to stand out for being a normal human being.
Yeah.
So I trained for physical. Now it's mental.
Yeah.
I'm the opposite now. Mental.
I do too. Majority. I still do it for the aesthetics. I'm not going to lie. But
that's a bonus.
I've never done it for mental health until this year. And saved my life. Literally saved my life this year.
Yep.
So for sure, that's really important. I'm going to leave you with a little reminder to please go on Apple iTunes or Apple Podcasts. Leave us a 5-star review.
Please.
Thank you guys so much for your support. Oh, and we will be back next week. A lot of people are on a podcast hiatus next week, and I don't want to leave you guys with no new podcast. I know all the podcasts I listen to are not doing a new podcast next week, and I'm bothered by it. So I'm not going to do that to you guys. We will have an episode on Monday, so I will see you guys on Monday.
She said it. We're going to hold her accountable.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.